Today's episode comes to you straight from the Foundation Insurance Services podcast studio, your home for elevating voices, inspiring leaders, and building the community one conversation at a time. If you're enjoying the journey, we'd love for you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach even higher.
There's nothing that can prepare you as a kid for depression.
Yeah.
And then dealing with your friend's suicide. Yeah. Because there was no telltale signs. In fact, one of our buddies dropped him off after school that day, and they chatted, no big deal. He's like, there was nothing. We went inside, and the rest is history after that.
Hey there, welcome back to Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation. I'm your host, Jan Simon, and this season we're raising the bar, diving into the passion, purpose, and defining moments of leaders who don't just aim high, they live there. Big ideas, real stories. Let's get into it. Today's guest is Ted Bliefnick, an entrepreneur, operator, and community builder shaped by Midwest roots and people-first mindset. Growing up in Decatur, Illinois, Ted learned early the value of hard work, accountability, and showing up for others. Those lessons followed him from competitive athletes into more than 20 years of servant leadership in recruiting, staffing, and workforce solutions, where he's helped scale teams and operations, generating tens of millions in revenue without losing culture. Today, Ed helps businesses, schools, and public organizations grow smarter through cost optimization, AI-enabled sales strategies, and forward-thinking solutions. Grounded, optimistic, and deeply family-oriented, Ted brings a real-world leadership and a clear vision for what's next. And I'm excited for him or me to share his story.
You just did.
I know. We're done.
Did you write that or me?
I did.
I wrote it like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. And then I went, hey, AI, make this shorter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words.
It was a ton of words. But you've done some incredible things. And I think I read that you played basketball. You'd played golf, or you still play golf.
I played golf.
Still play basketball?
So I played last Thursday. I'll play like every 3 to 6 months. I'm going to get back in it. But I've got bad knees, bad hips, bad joints, bad
everything,
bad etiquette, bad manners. And I'm like, every 3 to 6 months, I'm like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And this was that time. And my buddy's been bugging me to play. And I see him 4 times a week because of our kids play sports together. And we see each other at the gym every morning. And he's like, can you play Thursday? I'm like, no, thank you very much. And then finally he caught me on a good day. And I was like, I'll go play. And I go play. And it was pretty ugly. I banked in a 3. I called it. We had to end the game early because the teams were having a little tussle. So the game ended 3 minutes early.
Oh no.
They were 0-5. My team was 0-5 or whatever prior to that game, and we only lost. We actually were tied, and they hit a shot to go up by 2, and then they called the game. So I said, sorry guys, I was a little part of the issue that caused the game to end, and I said, my bad. But they're like, no, this is the best game we've had.
That's awesome.
So I played for many years. I love basketball. It was, everything growing up, and wish I could play. I still would love to, but my knees say otherwise. In fact, my left knee's still
jacked up.
Yeah.
I used to play. I played 3 days a week for 5 years or so. I never played in high school. I was a wrestler.
Yeah.
So other side of the mat, but played with a bunch of guys 3 days a week. But my problem was I started getting really bad plantar fasciitis, and my calves are super tight. And then one day I shot a basket and tore my tricep tendon.
Oh,
it was like I shot and it was like, that was weird.
You tore a tricep. That's
and then I went to dribble and it was like,
whoops,
what's going on? It didn't hurt.
Yeah.
It was just a weird sensation.
Oh, that's what I'm. Yeah. It's my knees and my back. If I can keep those okay, like the only thing I need now is golf, and my back went out in November, and it wasn't really due to golf. Like my back is sore because of golf, but it's never like goes out because of golf. But my working out is what will, what will get my back real bad. So if I can keep my knees and my back like decent,
yeah,
I just need to be able to golf,
right,
and work out a little bit.
I feel that I totally feel that. I think my problem is I don't play enough golf.
Yeah.
But I play too much golf.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well,
I'm in that space where it's like you play enough to be okay, but you don't play enough not to be sore
yeah.
after you play.
Well,
And I
let's
overswing
not talk
all the
about
time.
your grips.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about your grips.
I overswing.
Jan had butter on his grips.
Yeah,
in
in-
1984.
Myrtle.
I don't know if it was Myrtle or where. I grabbed your
Myrtle.
grips. I'm like, Jan, and I called Sean.
Oh, that's right. We were at Augusta Ranch.
When it was Augusta Ranch, and I was like, I mean, it was.
Yeah, they were
was
bad. They were
It
bad.
was pure
that was
yarn. It was like yarn that was torn and ripped and shredded,
Yeah.
and then Jan like glued it onto his grip, and I'm like, dude, these will fly out of your hand in a heartbeat. So
Yeah.
we called Sean, and
I got all
what
new
he
grips
said.
on my iron. Yeah, I got
You're
all
ready.
Yeah, all new grips on my irons, and then we went to Myrtle.
we went to Myrtle. We know what happened there.
And my driver.
I've got
I guess I
video.
should have got a new grip on my driver.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that was bad.
yeah.
That was bad.
That was good.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was good.
I got a new driver out of it.
That's right.
Thank
That's
you.
right. Did you get it for free? Was it tailor made?
Oh no.
Oh no, you bought.
Yeah, I bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
No,
you deserved it though.
my driver. So I bought that driver in. Let's see. I was 2006.
You were 20 in 2006.
No. I was thinking 2006. I think is when I got it because I was in Denver for a meeting and I rented a set of clubs at this course we were playing and the driver was in there and I was just crushing it. Of course,
Yeah.
you're in Denver, right?
Yeah, so
I was like,
flying.
oh yeah, I mean,
Everything
just
was good in Denver.
crushing the
Yeah.
ball. I'm like, I'm buying one of these drivers, and it was a great driver until it broke in half, and
Yeah, we know the rest.
yeah,
I have content just to prove it.
yes, I think it's now on the interweb
It's there forever.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Decatur, Illinois. What'd that look like? What did the environment in Decatur, Illinois teach you growing up?
Dude, Decatur's an interesting beast. There's a few stats about Decatur. Well, it's a home of ADM, Archer Daniels Midland, which is a big soybean processor, global, $40 billion company right there in little Decatur, Illinois.
Are they the ones that own the whatever the genetically modified code is that makes everybody?
Oh, probably. They don't talk about it though.
Yeah.
But they've had explosions in their buildings and people have died and they've polluted the lake.
So they're doing great
Supposedly.
for the environment.
Yeah. And well, that's what they're known for. And there was a scandal there, price fixing. There was a movie about it. Matt Damon was in it, I believe. So he was in Decatur. They're known for that as, the big company that housed all the jobs. And they also had Staley, another company, and Caterpillar's nearby there.
Mm-hmm.
But it smells. Like there's a bridge that goes across basically the corporate and the manufacturing area where they process all these plants, and it stinks. And the whole town kind of stinks.
Like
And
what?
Like
Rotten cheese?
like a dirty
Old lady's
diaper
ass?
with soybean processed doo doo in it. I mean, it's and you drive across the bridge, and the drive across the bridge is about 30 seconds. And so we used to hold our breath across the bridge and be like, I mean, you could barely make it. And we lived by the other plant and the golf course and the lake sunk too. It was a dirty lake. It was soil was in the lake, and they literally had runoff into the lake.
Okay.
But rock lake's clear and a sand lake is clear. Well, this was a mud lake, so you could. And we lived on the lake for a while, and I mean that's why I have 6 toes on one foot, and but you couldn't see 6 inches in the water. You couldn't see your hand here in the water because it was so dirty.
Gross.
And at one point, they finally said, "Hey, max you can eat 3 fish a year out of the lake."
Because you're going to poison yourself with something.
If you've seen Simpsons and the 3-eyed fish,
Yeah, yeah.
like that's same thing. And so it stunk. And so I worked at the golf course, which was right by the other plant, and it smelled. So anywhere in the town you went, it smelled. We all were like, it smells like money. Like we're just pumping money out of this bad boy. And that's what they're known for. But the town now they're known for, they have a few stats that are not very appealing. It's the most, depending on what you read, it's the most cost-effective city in the country. Only because it's so cheap to live there.
Because
Everyone's moving out. population has gone from roughly 120,000 20 years ago to about 70,000 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. And so haven't done the best with replenishing. Some of the jobs have moved up to Chicago that were, ADM and whatever, and they haven't replenished the jobs, and the school districts are struggling. And, they had a board meeting the other night, and, people are just like, and on social media, like, this place stinks. And I'm like, well, move. Like, and I love it, but so I was never going to stay there because I just was like, I want to go experience big city and big things, and didn't want to stay there forever. I love it. Love the town. Love the city. Have a lot of friends still there. And so, definitely look to give back and stay connected and all that. But that's Decatur, but it's in the middle. It's 3 hours south of Chicago. It's the big city surrounded by farmland. So all my buddies are farmers. All my buddies are, funny story. My wife is from Iowa. In Iowa and Illinois, you kind of think, we're about the same, like same demographics, same soybeans, same corn, same all this and that. And the first time she came to visit, we go to a Friday night football game, and all my buddies are there, and we're yakking it up and drinking, just hanging out, doing all the things we used to do. And they're all farmers, and we get done, and we're literally driving back to like my parents or somewhere, and she goes, "Where are we?" Like, it was their accents.
Oh, no kidding.
Like, I'm a ding ding. Like, they're close to St. Louis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Their accent's very clear. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, Mike and Mark or Clint or whomever. I'm like, yeah, they do sound like that. She's like, where are we?
That's
like,
awesome.
We're in Decatur.
Decatur. Where
Decatur.
are you?
I mean, we're 3 hours south of Chicago. So when I moved to Chicago, I had like a hybrid. I would say like Chicago, but then I'd be like, Bush Light, like in the same sentence. So it was, but Decatur is, surrounded by farmland, small town people, hard workers, Midwestern. There wasn't a lot to do, because we grew up in a.
Now you're gonna say a small town,
but it was a big little. I even wrote in my bio like a big small town, because it just felt that way. And
it's so funny because I grew up in a town with like 5,000 people.
Right.
I was like, that's a small town. There is nothing to do on a Friday night.
But we were like, Chicago was 3 hours away. St. Louis was 2.5 hours away. I mean, we were the city.
Yeah.
And so when you're the city at, a depleting 120,000 people,
that's crazy.
You went and partied in the farms and, caused trouble.
Awesome stuff. So
like it was.
So, and playing sports growing up.
This podcast is powered by Above Par Network, where networking isn't about awkward mixers or endless pitches. It's about genuine relationships, real opportunities, and having a good time doing it. If you're ready for networking that actually works, visit AboveParNetwork.com.
This episode is powered by 5 Leaf Financial, expert accountants, tax preparers, and CFOs who help you make smarter financial choices. If you want peace of mind around your finances, visit 5leaf.net.
Yeah. I mean, we lived on sports and getting in trouble. I mean, we literally would, and I tell my kids, I'm like, when we grew up, we played tackle football in the street. Like the street was a small street and, out of bounds. And like, we played tackle football in the street.
Yeah.
And we lived, I grew up Catholic. And so we lived in what was called the Catholic ghetto. I could throw a stone to the church and to my school. And I hopped the fence and I get in trouble all the time. And there was a bunch of us in this Catholic ghetto. It was basically the vicinity around the school. We all went to the school. There was, age 7 to 14, and we'd all play sports and do the thing. And so we had a foreign exchange program somehow, and we had a kid named Tachi Watabi. Shout out Tachi. And he spoke zero English. His parents spoke zero English. And we'd go out and play baseball and football and all the things. And he was from Japan, I believe. And we hung out with him all the time. He was awesome, but didn't speak any English. So we just taught him all the cuss words. And so he got Nintendo 6 months before we did from Japan.
No kidding.
So we'd have Nintendo Mario Brothers 3 before anybody.
Wow.
So we'd be in his house playing Mario Brothers 3, and we taught him all his cuss words, and his parents didn't speak English. So his mom would come down, and he would just F-bomb her. And she didn't know what he was saying, and we're dying, like rolling around laughing. And so we're out playing home run derby by the school one day. And again, we're in the Catholic ghetto, not the ghetto, just the Catholic ghetto. And we're playing home run derby one day, and I'm out in right field. Tachi's up to bat. And this was when crisscross was popular.
Oh, no.
You know, the backwards
Yeah.
close and all that jump.
Yeah.
And he's up to bat, and we see these two kids walk up with crisscross jerseys,
Oh, no.
backwards pants. They're just walking, but I'm in right field, kind of like, They walk up straight to Tachi, and I'm like, oh, no, this is not going to be good. And so I can't hear what they're saying. They're just, and one of the guys pulls out a gun.
No way.
And puts it right to Tachi's head. And I'm like, and that's just
Seriously?
a dead honest story.
Wow.
And I'm like, and it lasts for 6 hours. It feels like it was probably 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And they finally, walk away and kind of leave. And I backpedal, and I'm like, and I turn around, sprint home, and I'm like, Mom, I saw a gun today. And she's like, what? And so all the parents in the neighborhood, were calling each other. They couldn't text, but they were like, dialing everyone, and like nothing came out of it. But they lived in an apartment complex, kind of kitty corner to where we were at. But, that was just us being in the, playing. We play every single day. And I tell my kids, I'm like, you need to go out and have like healthy trouble, maybe not guns, but,
Right.
Other healthy trouble, go, do all the things. And that's what we did. In a town, city like that, we had a tight knit, at that time, Catholic ghetto, and all the families were super close, and we grew up together, went to grade school together, went to high school together. And so it was just super tight knit, family oriented,
Yeah.
But yeah, sports were like the backbone. Like we just played everything.
Yeah.
From 4 on, it was basketball, baseball, soccer, football, like all the things.
How many kids were in your high school? Or like your graduating
330.
class? Okay.
And now they're down to under 200.
Oh, wow.
So my graduating class was 72.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the grade school
And
had
it was a private school?
private.
Okay,
So it was
private Catholic school. Yeah.
Catholic.
Get that in there.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Yeah.
Hail Marys.
Yeah.
Did you have the nuns? They hit your
Oh
hands?
yeah. We had a couple nuns in grade school, and then and they were, God bless them, they're long gone. Like they were 90 when they were teaching us.
Yeah.
I'm like, we would be cheating, and she'd come over, and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing anything. Like I'm just taking my test. Like, and they, they were ancient then. They'd be 180 now.
It's so funny. I had an English teacher that I thought was stupid old when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I was back home. This is probably a few years ago, and was at a retirement party for one of the administrators from the high school. I wasn't in town for that. I had gone and visited somebody, and then they're like, hey, you should come up. Everybody's going to be there. So, of course, it's a small town because everybody's going to be there. So, and this Mrs. Stone was there, and I'm like looking at her thinking, how the hell are you still alive?
Oh.
Like, I swear to God, she was 80 years old when we were in school.
Yeah.
So, and 40 years later, and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, and it was Catholic as it gets. You couldn't, and our house was a stone throw from the school. So I got in trouble one time. I won't say exactly what I did, but it was definitely not called for. And within minutes, my mom was at the school.
Yeah.
Minutes. And I'm sitting in the principal's office, and she was a nun.
Your mom?
No, my mom was a nun. Yeah. No, the nun was a principal, and she was at the school within minutes. Like, you couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You couldn't breathe wrong.
Huh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
When you think back on your younger self, what's a lesson you think you learned that you carry forward to today that helps with some of your success?
Yeah. I think it was, we can all be critical of our parents or things that happened or didn't happen, but I think the fact that my family, my extended family, was very connected in the community. My grandfather was a prominent business leader, gave a lot of money, had numerous businesses. He was very crafty. I remember I looked up to him and I spent a lot of time with him, but he was also that type of guy that like, he didn't have time for, he didn't have time for me. Like he was cool and he would, ask me about stuff, but he didn't have time for kids, or he was very busy. But I could walk into a Knights of Columbus, which is a Catholic men's organization, and he was a grand knight. He met the Pope like 5 times.
Do you have one of those pointy hats?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
The white one?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a Grand Knight, which I think is like the highest you can be
No kidding.
in Knights of Columbus globally. And the Knights of Columbus was basically a men's private organization that you go drink beer at.
Can you still do that today? Or
Oh, yeah.
Do women?
Well, no, they still have Knights of Columbus. I was like a 3rd degree, whatever. I haven't really done it in a while, so I don't know if it might actually maybe fact check that, see if my standing is still good. But
Yeah.
you could. It was a Catholic men's organization, and you basically, they had a bar there. So they had tons of events, weddings, and they had a bar there. Well, now today, they don't want to recognize drinking, so the bar technically is separate. Like it's a separate name, separate business, woke stuff. I mean, that was the fabric of, being part of the organization was you'd go there with your family.
Mm-hmm.
The guys, the men would go there every night after work. Like my grandpa and his buddies, they'd be there every night after work. But that was part of the fabric of the community and being a Catholic organization. And I've since been non-denominational, like a lot of us, but it was great because it was so rooted in your family, and you went there every St. Patrick's Day, and you had family and friends. But anyways, because of him and that we were so connected in the community, I couldn't go to the grocery store without it being a 2-hour ordeal because we would run into everyone we knew. And when you're in 7th grade, there's nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we get through the damn vegetable aisle without
Stopping and talking
30
to
minutes? I'm like, what? And so we knew everybody. And so when at that age you don't appreciate it, you just know if you get in trouble, someone's going to know immediately and you're toast. So you always had to be in your P's and Q's. So it really taught you about, relationships and community and giving back. And we gave back a lot. Like my grandfather started Special Olympics in Illinois. And so we would always volunteer at Special Olympics, Catholic organizations like the university. Like we were very, very active in that. And I'm sure we'll get to it later, but that's what I kind of missed is not the small community, but just being part of a community. And so it really put a lot of pressure on me to show up, be your best, work hard, be a good person. And I pushed the line a lot with like my antics, but I always knew for the most part where the line was and what I could push and not. Like when I went to my buddy's house, I'd always go see their parents, say hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith or whomever, and always would butter up to them because I knew.
You're like Eddie Haskell.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, I knew if they're like, oh, that Bliefnick boy, I'd want him to be like, he's trouble, but we kind of like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was always that in the back of my mind to say, hey, no one is off limits, in this town. And so we always had to be, good representation. But my grandpa also said, C's get degrees.
Yeah.
He didn't care what my grades were.
That's great.
He wanted me to graduate, and he wanted me to, be an entrepreneur, be in sales, be successful. So I think the other side of the coin is it was like I wasn't going to be a teacher, or it was like sales. I had a basketball coach in the family, entrepreneurs. It was like, which was fine by me, but they were like, hey, they push success hard. So it was like, Midwest family, hard work, play hard, work hard type environment, which, was great.
Was there a time in high school when you were going through sports and stuff like that where you felt like you were just done, like didn't fit in anymore?
So
or did you ever fit in?
Did I ever fit in? No. I mean, I guess you'd have to ask them if I did.
Right.
So there was twice, if not many more, but I had early diagnosed like ADD as a kid and then depression. And so I know it vividly happened in 7th grade. There was there was a science project. Shout out Miss Burris.
Okay. If she listens.
I'll try not to use names in this, but shout out Miss Burris.
Okay.
I'm sure she'll tune in.
Everybody is. So.
And so she was a science teacher, and we had this year-long project. And I remember not doing any of it until the day before.
Oh, no way.
And it was like I ended up getting a D on it or D- or something. And I remember working all night. I didn't sleep. And at that age, if you don't sleep, like there's no coming back. And I stayed up all night to do the project. I turned in some garbage project. And at that point, I was like, man, that was a real struggle because I just lost complete sense of scheduling or planning or prioritizing. I probably blame my parents, but I absolutely flopped on that project. And prior to that, I was straight A's. Like I was, we used to do the Iowa test of basic skills.
Okay.
I don't know how Iowa got recognition
Into Illinois.
into Illinois, but they had a national test, that you rank everybody. And, I was top 1% always in, math and a few categories, but, reading and whatever, I was, bottom 20%. Like I couldn't read real well, but math was off the charts. And then 7th grade, I flopped on that project. And then, I had been to get some help with, ADD and depression. I was seeing a counselor, and it came like fruition at a young age that I was like, this is a struggle. And so I got put on, Zoloft and a bunch of, at that time they were just, give you whatever pills they could find. It was like Zoloft, Paxil. And they're like, there's some side effects to this. But you're going to focus better. And that stuff for me personally, I remember being like 7th, 8th grade. I'm like, it took my edge off. I was like, it took my edge off. I mean, because those medications, they dull you.
Depressors.
They completely dull you. And then fast forward many, many, many years later, now they have tests where they can see, you take take one test and it will show you all of the prescriptions and which ones your body will vibe with.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And so when I took that years later, it showed that Zoloft, Paxil were no bueno. And so when I took them, and I was on several, I was like, I was like a zombie. Yeah. And I literally was like, I'd rather deal with this than feel like a zombie. Yeah. And so, it was a struggle then to like, and it wasn't about like blending in or whatever, but it was more the struggle in my head of like doing well in school. But I was just bored. Yeah. I just didn't like, none of it was exciting. I just was bored. And I was smart. Like I could have tested well, but I can't. It would take me 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 years to read a book. And I was like, I can't. I got like a 2-minute window where I'm like, okay, I can really focus here. And then what's that? And it just, came to fruition. But then traditional schooling was, hey, you're going to fit in this box. You're going to take these classes and, you're a troublemaker and you're not going to make it. And I was like, whatever. Like it never bothered me once. I was like, okay, like, I'm so bored. Like, right. Why don't you, we'll see funny. You.
I was the same way. Like I could never, I shouldn't say I couldn't read. I just was not a fast reader. So I was like, I was in lighthouses and everybody else was in, I don't know what 4 books ahead of lighthouses was, but
what's lighthouse? Oh,
I don't know. It's like, that's one of those reading books, they give you, it's like,
I could not do it. And, I was in honors classes here and there, but it was, and then I just started like goofing off, in school, got in enough trouble, a couple suspensions and things like that, nothing terrible, but enough that, teachers were like, tisk, tisk. And I was like, whatever. Like, I don't really care. But I didn't, every time I got in trouble, it was more like it got up to my parents and to my grandpa. And that's what bothered me more is like, I didn't want to get in trouble. Yeah. And so that's where, it carried on. Then my mom, and so everyone from the Catholic schools, grade school goes to Catholic high school. And so I'm literally in 8th grade, like getting ready to go to high school. And I forget exactly when it was, but my mom at the time, she had been on radio and done a couple different things. And then I think at the time she was unemployed because my dad was working, and she she kind of was like, hey, got a big announcement. And I was like, okay, do tell. She's like, I got a job. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Bring in the cheddar. And she's like, I'm going to be working at your high school. And I was like, oh, hell no.
No.
Oh, hell no, we are not doing this. I was like, no. I literally was like, there's no way that you're going to do this to me.
Yeah.
And and she got a job as not a teacher. She was like
She was a lunch lady.
lunch lady, like, you want some more mashed potatoes? Like, no, she was like the fundraiser person.
Like a PTSO person or something.
No, she was like the head of fundraising.
Oh,
like
wow.
not PTO.
Wow.
She did all the events, all the things. And I got lunch money every day, but that was about it. And when I got in trouble in high school, she knew before I did. She knew before I even did it.
Yeah. Was there anybody through school? You've mentioned a couple teachers and your mom and your grandfather. Is there anybody that kind of took you by the collar and said you should straighten up because you're not going to go anywhere?
You know,
Not that you listened to.
Not that I was like, whatever. No, gosh. Well, I was basketball was my main sport, and
You did D1 there, right?
oh yeah, no, I did D3. I put that in I was like a very short, mediocre D3 career.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was
What
basketball.
is D3? Was it like community college?
No, that's I guess a step up from community college. D3 is Division III athletics. I played 2 sports.
Is that NCIA?
NAIA. I don't know. NAIA is probably equivalent, I guess. Yeah. I had a basketball coach that he was 23 when he took over when I was a freshman, and he was a great basketball player, a very young coach. And he took over as a freshman when the prior coach was everyone looked up to him. He was outstanding, like loved by everybody. He had just had like a super sectional team with a couple guys that went on to play college basketball. He didn't recruit me because I was going to go there anyways, but games and I was a good ball player and I was so pumped to play for him. And then when I went into school, he had left. So they hired this 23-year-old guy named Coach Tidwell. And he was a absolute, like, your epitome of small town Illinois, like Hoosier type basketball player. And long story short, he just pushed the absolute shit out of us, like from day one. And he didn't drink. He was very religious, didn't date. It was 100% basketball.
Oh, wow. So
much so that at one point, I think my mom had introduced him to. I don't think he dated either. My mom introduced him to someone, and for their first date, he took him to the school to play basketball. And I was like, "This idiot! Like, what are you doing,
dude?
What girl wants to?" Yeah,
right.
I'm betting he didn't get to second base or a second date.
No, he didn't.
But he just pushed us. So I can't say he definitely didn't take me under his wing, but he pushed you and showed you how to be a ball player, and that was all I cared about.
Yeah.
And so we struggled every year because no one wanted to play for him. So much so that my sophomore year, I was starting as a sophomore. We had 2 seniors, and we had a small team, small school. We had 2 seniors and a junior, maybe, or maybe 2 and 2 or whatever, small, senior team of seniors and juniors, and we were decent, but we had to run one night like 100 down and backs.
Oh,
like literally 100. I lost count after
14.
82. I was like, this is, and
Wow.
And 4 guys walked off the court. They're like,
done.
screw this, I'm done.
Yeah.
They're like, are you coming with us? I'm like, no, like I'm playing basketball, dude. Like, no, I'm not walking
I'm
off.
in this.
Off.
Yeah.
And so we were already, it was our best player. He was a senior. He's averaging 20 points a game. And another guy and a third guy that was pretty good. And then the next night or 2 nights later, we play the best team in the conference. And they had just beaten the best team by like 20. And so they came in to play us. And, we beat them. I had, 20, 12, and 10 or whatever. And my coach, he was crying. He was crying because we had won after these guys had quit. And so it's just one of those moments that I'm not one to be like, oh, remember high school and we beat you guys. But it was one of those moments where, it'll
stick.
Shit happened and you beat it. And then, your coach cried when you never would have thought that could happen. And, so, a small school like that, you have your football coaches and your basketball coach. I had an English teacher that, so when you talk about like those moments, my senior year, so I was in basketball was my thing, like through and through. I'd go to the YMCA and play 6 hours, in a day. And I was not the best player there. And, we had, some schools that had some super talented guys, and I was, not the majority out of that group. And so I would just go and just try and get on the court. And these guys were, incredible. And they were, it was like street ball.
Yeah.
It was just street ball. And so if I got on, I had to fight tooth and nail to stay on the court, like set screens, rebound, whatever I could do to get on the court, just to earn my keep. And, but I'd play and play and play, summer, winter, like all the time. Basketball is it. And so fast forward my senior year, it was one of those moments. I had gone out with some friends and we had smashed the mailboxes. And my friends were at the small public school outside of the town, and they got caught. I got caught. I was suspended for half the season.
Oh, wow.
They got one game.
No kidding.
And I was like, it was one of those moments where it defined kind of what my high school was to some degree. And I had to sit out half the season. Like, so in your senior season for basketball, that's everything.
Yeah.
And in a small town where I was, one of the better players in the area, the conference, and I'd had a good sophomore year, junior year. I was looking at colleges. I mean, nothing D1, but, D2 or whatever. And that happened. And so that was the other moment, back to your earlier question about, defining moments or things that happen that, it is what it is. And that crippled my senior year of basketball. But it also was one of those moments where I was like, I will never make that kind of catastrophic mistake again.
Yeah.
And it was hard. I mean, I'd already battled my own personal demons, my own personal issues. That happened, and it was devastating for like a week. But I showed up at practice. I played every practice because I couldn't play the games. I could practice, and I still was there. We had a couple good ball players on the team, and I could play the last 5 games of the season and then playoffs. But I still want to be there for the team because legacy matters for me. And I was like, I'm not going to be defined by one mistake. So I wanted to give it all, to my team. And we had a different coach as my senior year, and he's a great, great guy. And I was like, I'm not going to go down like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to work hard and, practice and make this team as best as I can to leave it, where I better than I left it. And it was freaking hard because that was why I spent.
Was it the school's choice to?
Oh yeah,
it wasn't. It wasn't like the athletic.
It was a school.
Yeah,
it was the athletic director
of the school.
Yeah, so they had some policy, drugs, alcohol, whatever it was. If you do this within this box, then you're out for whatever it was. It turned out being half the season.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so during that time, too, my senior year, we had it was like our second to third last game of the season. The anniversary just happened recently, but we played a tough game on the road, and we were coming off the court, and I was looking in the crowd, and there were tears and people were crying, and it was just like a look across, and I'm like, what in the? We lost a game, like it's not that big of a deal. And we get in the locker room, my coach kind of stuttered and stumbled over his words, and he's like, hey, there was suicide, and it was one of my best friends.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so that happened senior year, and it just rocked the school. I mean, he was one of the guys. He was one of my buddies in my Catholic ghetto.
Okay.
So I grew up with him since we were like 4 or 5 years old. And so not only had I, hurt myself by getting in trouble and ruining my senior season, but then that happened, at the very end of the season, and it was a whole school kind of locking arms and to get through it. And it turned out to be the whole community, like the whole city. There was another suicide after that and a third. So it set off like a trickle effect. And I had some really close relationships, kind of lock arms because of it. But yeah, I mean, that was a tough window, where I was like, I'm never going to put myself in a position where I screw up like that. It sounds silly, but I'd made some mistakes and I'd gotten away with it to some degree, like nothing harmful. And then that, I was like, damn, really. No, I look back and I'm like, it was a learning lesson. Yeah. And I think it set the trajectory for how I want to evolve, right? Versus I'm still going to be me, but I don't need to do that. Yeah. Like I don't want to ever do that for myself, for my kids, for my family. Like, it was ugly for a minute, but I mean, sometimes people are like, oh yeah, I remember when you bat. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like I remember, but like, it ain't like, get over it.
Yeah. I have a question I'm trying to formulate in my head. As a kid, I mean, I just think about, some of my best friends growing up, which I'm still friends with today. But being in that situation, I'll just kind of digress for a second. But how did you deal with that? I mean, was it the community that kind of helped you through that? Because I could only imagine.
Yeah, I mean, there's
just getting a wallowing.
There's
space.
Nothing that can prepare you for that.
No. Yeah.
And I had already battled my own demons for a few years before that.
You said you had depression issues.
Yeah, So I'd already seen counseling and done all the things before it was, jokingly before it was cool. And I'm glad that mental health has been front facing in society. Yeah. I think it's changed a lot recently, which maybe we'll get to. But I think I'm glad it's there. I'm glad that people can address it, be aware of it, diagnose it, do all the things, but there's nothing that can prepare you as a kid for depression. Yeah. And then dealing with your friend's suicide. Yeah. Because there was no telltale signs. In fact, one of our buddies dropped him off after school that day and they chatted, no big deal. He's like, there was nothing. He went inside and the rest is history after that. And to this day, I'll still text with his dad. Yeah. And they're, you want to talk about, overcoming adversity or character. His parents are like amazing. They started a suicide group. They're just saints. That's awesome. His brother is salt of the earth, like genuine ass dude.
That's cool.
And his dad is salt of the earth. And so there's nothing that can prepare you for that. Yeah. Even when it happens, there's like, you're at the mercy of whatever. Yeah. So there's things you can do. I mean, it was really, I literally, one of my friends, her boyfriend at the time was the second suicide and we became super tight. It was, misery loves company to some degree. And so we kind of formulated, me and my buddies that were really close with him. His name was Jared Worm. Shout out Worm. But they went and got tattoos. I didn't get a tattoo. They got a tattoo of a big sun. Oh, yeah. Years later, they're like, why do we do this? It was a big sun with a 50 was his football number. But they got tattoos. I was like, I'm okay on the tattoo, but, we're in this. And so we hung out. We listened to songs. We drank beer. We shouldn't have, but we did lots of things.
We're Catholic.
We're Catholic. We're locking arms.
They got bars in the churches.
Yeah. Oh, amen. They got wine. They serve wine. I was like, look, like, give me some more.
You want?
Can I go for seconds?
Sure, I'll take some of that. I will partake.
So we just, there was a group of us that were really tight with him, like football guys and then the neighborhood guys. And we just locked arms. There was a couple songs that were like, resonated with him. So we'd listen to the songs, drive around town, hang out, go to parties, like do all the things. And then my other friend, her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend at the time had, committed suicide. So there was a group in the community of people, but you literally just remember, like we would fist fight all the time and play football and then spend the night at his house. And so the funny story, so talking about his dad, we would spend the night at his house. This is why I love his dad. I'll tell him this a couple times a year. I'm like, his dad, he made him do a paper route. You ever do a paper route? Your buddies do a paper route?
My brother did. I helped him on it a couple times.
Who in
the middle of the freaking winter?
Who in the world would do a paper route.
Right.
I mean, you get up at 4 a.m.
You got to fold the papers. They'd give them
fold
to
the
the
papers,
bundle.
and then you're hanging out of a minivan with a sliding door, slinging.
We were riding bikes.
No, well, yeah, bikes, or his family had a Dodge Caravan with a sliding door,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so, he had to do a paper route, and I'm like, that sucks to be you.
Yeah.
And I'd go spend the night at their house, and his dad was a former police officer, and he's like, hey, MFer, you're getting up at 4 doing the paper route with us.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So we get up and do the paper route with him.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's
But,
awesome.
so that kind of stuff got us through it. And, I mean, I did counseling and did other legal drugs and
Yeah.
some illegal. But, I mean, there were times where it was really dark in high school.
Yeah.
And, in high school, you're dealing with a lot of issues. And I think kids these days have to deal with different issues. But, you just deal with it how you can. I mean, there were times where I didn't deal with it well. I remember I had, drank the night before school, and I got to school and I was, a wreck, and it was just something that you look back on and you're like, man, that was another mistake I got away with that, could have been ugly. So I don't know that I dealt with it well necessarily, but you don't know what to do. There's no book for how to get through that, but it's relationships, and it's, locking on to what and that was like basketball and sports, and, working through it.
Yeah. How do you think some of those lessons learned then translate to today and keep things going and keep you on the level today?
Big thanks to Maritime USA for sponsoring the show, helping businesses simplify payment processing and reduce unnecessary fees. If you're tired of overpaying to accept cards, it might be time for a better option. Learn more at maritimeusa.com.
This episode is supported by Rocks Ink Calligraphy, where every piece is created by hand and designed to be remembered. From custom calligraphy and engraving to live event personalization, Rocks Ink turns meaningful moments into lasting art. Learn more at rocksink.com.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the will to. Well, now it's my wife and my kids. I mean, back then it was friends and family, and now it's my wife and kids, and it's learning from mistakes. I think people often will ask, like, do you have any regrets? And I think it's easy for everyone to say, oh no, I don't have any regrets. And I think, do I regret the trouble I got in? Yeah, I kind of regret it, but everything is going to help you get better. Mm-hmm. Everything's a learning lesson, everything, and you can't do anything about it. So why worry about it?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing I can do about 5 seconds ago, 5 minutes ago, 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like, it's in the past. There's nothing I can do about it. And that was a hard lesson, because I think missing out on my basketball season was like, that was tough, a regret. Yeah. I hung on that for a while, and then I did play in college a little bit, but it just wasn't the same because, I had, could I have done something different or whatever? But yeah, now there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever happened, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Learn from it.
Fast forwarding into today's day and age, you've worked with what sounds like some pretty large companies, doing some recruiting for them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Any of the work that you did, or any of the school that you did, any of the lessons that you learned in school help you to navigate some of the competitiveness, or have you had to lean on your competitiveness to get through some of that?
Yeah, I think that, I was an athlete, and so it's easy for companies to say, I want to hire an athlete because they're competitive. It doesn't always work like that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of misconceptions about a lot of things. That's one of them, is that hiring athletes translates into business success, and it doesn't. Like, for athletes to transfer, you're a great quarterback, you're a great point guard, like, to transfer an athletic skill into business doesn't always work. But I think that my mentality too is, I think a question that a lot of people get is, do you love to win or do you hate to lose? And I'm a hate to lose person. Like, I hate to lose. Mm-hmm. If I win a big game, if I win a championship, if I win whatever, like, I'll celebrate for a minute or two. I'll celebrate with my team, because if they win, that's great. I want them to win. but I hate to lose.
Yeah.
And I'm wildly competitive in that, I'll bite, scrape, claw, whatever I have to do.
Do you replay stuff in your head over and over and over again if you lose? Like when you go on the pickleball court, do you play pickleball?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You play pickleball.
Yeah. No, I immediately am like very critical, like golf.
Mm-hmm.
So, people like I'm a decent golfer, and so people like, oh, I'm terrible. Like I can't play with you. I'm like, no. If you drink beer, play fast, like play music.
Yep.
Like let's do it. I am uber competitive in my head
Against yourself.
against myself.
Yeah.
I won't let it show. I used to have a bad anger issue with golf, but like my dad did, but now I'm super competitive, even if it's a casual game, and I can play with anyone. Like I don't care. You're terrible. You're great. Let's have fun. Crack some beer, play some music. But I'm uber competitive when it comes to anything. If you want to, play pickleball or whatever, like let's grind. Let's do it.
God,
Let's do it.
I hate.
But I hate losing.
I'm the same way.
And it's like, and so I tell my kids, I'm like that's what pushed me is like my buddies. I'm like, I know that, Josh or Bubba or those are real guys. I know they're out practicing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not practicing, like they're going to beat me. And so I would practice for 3 hours and I'd be like, oh, this is my last shot. And I'm like, no, because if they're taking one more shot right now, if they're playing and they're taking one more shot, 2 more shots, 3 more shots, I'll take 5 more. So I was like, that's what pushed me. At times it's probably unhealthy. I probably need to celebrate the wins more. And I certainly need to do that for my kids.
Yeah.
But it's it's what pushes. It's what pushes me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's about working in corporate and when I was in college, I went to a couple different schools, but I went to another Division III school, hung out with the basketball guys and soccer guys and all the athletes, and I went to school for management. Like I made up a major. My major was interdepartmental. It was like business management, communication. I was like, I'm going into sales. I'm going to go into management. Like there's no degree for that. So I want to do communication. And one of the guys I was good friends with, he graduated a year before me and he went off to go work somewhere. And then we caught up at homecoming. He was like, hey, come work for me or come work with me. I'm like, bet. I'm like, if you're working there, he's one of my good friends, great basketball player, just someone I looked up to and was a good friend. So I went to work with them, and then I was there 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it goes back to like the relationships and hanging around people that, you want to be with.
Mm-hmm.
There's one of the guys from Sopranos, I think, or I forget his name, but there's a cool podcast he's on and he's, he's Italian. He's like, he's like, hey, all you need, he's like, all you need is 3 MFers and you can take on anyone.
Yeah.
And it's a cool clip because it's super powerful that, if you have a close, small group, you can conquer anything.
Yeah.
And so he went to work for this company called Aerotech. It was a staffing company. And you start as a recruiter, you move into sales, and I always wanted to be in sales and leadership. And so you went there and they promised promotion and equity and stock and leadership opportunity. You could retire at 40 and all those kind of things. And it was amazing. We went there and, we worked as a 22-year-old. I was working 70 hours a week.
Dang.
And so we'd work 7 a.m. till 6, 7 p.m. Then we'd crack some beers in the office. We'd go out and party, and we'd stay out, 2, 3, 4 nights a week. Sometimes we'd sleep in our cars. We'd go out all night. We'd come back. We'd switch ties if we were wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
So it didn't look like we were in the same clothes from the night before. And then we'd get back at it at 7 a.m.
Wow.
And so it was a super competitive
recruiting stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was recruiting. So we were basically temp staffing.
Okay.
So we'd place people at companies on like a temporary basis and they'd work there, like full-time hours. And then we built up a book of business. It was commission, bonus, like, great pay opportunity. But it was an environment where it was very much a boys club for a while.
Yeah.
And then we started to be like, hey, we need diversity. We need female leadership. Like can't be boys club forever, which was great. a great thing we needed to do, but it was always work hard, play hard, tons of promotion opportunity. And so, I worked there for 16 years and I ran a couple big operations. I had close to 70 million in sales one year for the operation I ran. I had, 55, 60 people working for me.
Wow.
Yeah. And I did HR, I did sales, I did hiring, I did all the things. And, we were fortunate enough to be like office of the year one year. And I was director of the year one year in a super competitive environment. So it was like the peak of true leadership where you get to run everything. Everything good is on you, everything bad is on you. But I don't like the accolades as much. Like it was about the team and the people. And, whenever we had promotions, right? So when you're a recruiter, you get promoted to sales. Whenever we had promotions, I would invite in their parents because they're typically like 22, 23, 24, a lot of them. And so their parents are still like very involved, right, in their life. And I was a director at like 28, 29. But whenever we promoted someone, I would get their parents, information, and I'd call them and have them come in for the promotion. And so I'm not super emotional. I don't but when I promote someone, bawling. I'm like,
really?
Oh,
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. And so we bring their parents in, and I'm like, hey, your son or daughter means, because I always told them when I hire them, like, I'm going to treat you like I would my son. Right? Tough love, lots of, care. I'm going to push you. I'm going to assume your parents push you. I'm going to assume they loved you. I'm going to assume that they challenge you. I'm going to do the same. And I would then, to reciprocate, I'd invite their parents in, when we would promote them, and to see their parents, see them promoted, I'd lose it within like 1 second. I can't even get a word out.
No
I'm like,
kidding. That's too funny.
Johnny is promoted. Like,
That's too funny.
yeah.
What you bring up leadership. Has your, we'll call it a definition of leadership, changed
Oh yeah.
from then to now over the years?
Sorry, I should write. No, but leadership in corporate America has changed drastically.
Okay.
So back then, it was work hard, care for your people, promote them, hit your numbers. We expect attrition, because not everyone's a good fit. And so my expectation was, I'm going to treat you like I would my kids. And I was a heavy hand. Well, I'll back up, because when I got promoted from recruiter into a sales role, you share an office with someone else, usually someone older that's like a mentor. And I share an office with Phil. Shout out Phil. Still talk to Phil this day. And he was grumpy every day. And I would flip the curtains up just to aggravate him, and I'd cold call, and but I have a jovial attitude, joke a lot. And I remember he was like, hey, people like you, but do they respect you? And I was like, you mother, like, how dare you challenge me? But like from that day, I changed my mentality on how I was going to show up every day. And so I became very like a hard driver, and very like, I was going to outwork anyone. And I was like, I know if I outwork everyone, my systems and processes too, I'm going to crush it, both personally and, my team, or if I get promoted. I was like, I know, if I can take his advice, take his feedback, and have the place take me a little more serious, but not lose my personality, like I could do great things.
This episode is made possible by our partners at Best Option Restoration. When water, fire, or mold damage hits your home or business, you need a local team you can trust to respond fast and do it right. Learn more at bestoptionrestoration.com.
Shout out to Guidance Alliance, a trusted peer advisory group for business owners who want honest answers, not motivation posters. Small groups, weekly sessions, ideas that actually work. Visit guidancealliance.com to learn more.
Have you ever had a situation as a leader where you did something that you wish you could go back and change?
Yeah, for sure. That's it.
That's it. I guess it was a close-ended
that's
question,
it.
wasn't it?
That was.
It was a very close-ended
Yeah, I
question.
was, baiting you into that.
Care to share?
Yeah, I mean, there were certainly one or two times where I let someone's decision affect me personally, and I took it to an extreme. I had someone lie once that, I knew they were lying, and I gave them 5 opportunities to tell the truth, and they didn't, and I kind of held it against them too long, where I should have probably forgave them. I just took it so personal. I'm like, how could you lie to me?
Yeah.
When I know you're lying. Like one of my kids lied the other day, and I'm like, when I ask you this question, you're already busted, right? And he just kept
Kept
telling
up
it.
with
I was
it.
like, dude, I'm
Hey,
like,
you got to admire the commitment.
I was like, bro, listen, I'm gonna give you one more chance to tell me the truth. Otherwise, and now my threats are like, we're gonna do sprints or we're gonna do whatever. And I'm like, I'll give you one more chance to tell me the truth.
Cold plunge in the pool for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I was like, cold plunge and laps and push-ups and
Wait,
and
what'd
so
you say? 100 suicides?
100 suicides. Yeah, we called them 5-3-1s. It was like 5 down and backs, 3 down and backs, 1 down and back, and you had to do them all timed.
Oh wow.
And we had one dude on our team that was 270 and 6'5", and
Suck.
I was like, bro, he's never gonna make this
going to
time.
die.
Like, we're gonna die because of him. I was like, can we extend the time a little
Oh
bit?
my god, that's too funny.
So yeah, there was a few times where I got overly emotional in their decision, and I probably could have let up, or I always, my intent was always the best for them, whether it was tough love or accountability or write-ups or like whatever it was. I always was just trying to do the best for them, but I think enough times it was probably immature.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and this is how leadership has evolved. Back in the day, it was do what I say, do it like this, and I'm going to check in on make sure it was done. Mm-hmm. I think that was 80% of leadership back in the day, but it was also with love and like relationship and all the things, but it was very much do this, do as I say, do it the right way. And now I think this is parenting, leadership. I think it's tough. Like if you're in a corporate environment now, leadership is very tough.
Yeah.
Because there's remote work, there's lack of loyalty, there's lack of loyalty from the company. And so I think leadership has changed in corporate environment, but mine, at its core is still about, and people ask what comes first, relationships or performance? So what is it?
Well, I would say relationships.
Why not both?
Well, you see, you asked which one.
If you're a relationship only person, they're gonna go, well, I thought we were friends, but you still need to.
But the business makes decisions, not me. So the business has in my mind, the way I run my business is I work for the business.
Right.
The business has a mind of its own. The business has to do a job.
Well, that sounds. I'd be like,
Harry Fairy?
Jon, are we speaking?
Yeah.
Are you in the clouds or?
Yes.
Wait,
No,
aren't you the business?
Yeah, well, it is, but I may get emotionally attached to an individual, but I have to make a decision based on what's right for the business. So it's being able to remove the emotional hat and put on the logic hat and say, okay. So to me, it's relationship first, but obviously performance is a key metric, right?
Interesting.
So,
well, look, sometimes my hands are tied. I'm like, if you haven't performed for X amount of time, like,
do you like them tied?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Depends if it's in front or back. Sometimes over my head.
Rachel.
Take
9.
Oh man,
I'm sorry.
He shouldn't be. She's gonna be sorry. I meant I'm gonna be sorry.
Somebody is.
Someone's gonna be sorry.
Somebody will be sorry. Okay, so
it becomes this. I'm gonna help you. This is where it evolved. Is like, and it's showed up in different facets. I'm like, if I make you do A, B, and C because that's what I want, I'm missing the boat. Mm-hmm. Right? You may not want what I want.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm like, what do you want? Like, what's your end goal?
Yeah.
What's your end game? There's certain things that aren't going to change. Like, we were a performance-based company. We were in engineering. We were sales.
Yep.
And performance-based. Yeah. So there's certain things that
numbers.
You have to do.
Yeah.
And even I challenged the system, and that's why I ended up leaving, was because the system, I was like, there's better ways to do this while still hitting our numbers. There's just certain things you have to do that's in the fabric of like, hey, we have to grow as a business.
Yeah.
Outside of that, what do you want to do? What's your future role? What are your goals? How much money do you want to make? I had a guy that was like a top performer for years, and he was wild because he was a tough cookie, because I had to call HR on him several times. I'm like, I'm going to go have a conversation with this guy. He's going to use it against me. He's going to like finagle, or like, you know, he just was always finagling. But one of them was, he's like, I only want to make X amount of dollars this year so that I don't have to pay more taxes. I'm like, do you know how taxes work? I'm like, do you think I'm going to submit your numbers and say, hey, he's not going to grow this year?
Right.
Well, how's that going to look for me? I'm like,
Right.
do you know how taxes work? So you run into conversations like that, and it's like, so I think leadership now is also about question-based leadership.
So expand on that. How do you balance the performance metrics with the human aspect of it, or the human element? How do you because you're working with and a lot of what you do is human capital stuff then, and even pulling forward to today, in my understanding of what you're doing. How do you balance that, where it's like, okay, we have these metrics, right? But you don't like the color of this carpet, so you want to work at home.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to, relationship and performance. I mean, relationships in business, relationships haven't changed. How they're done and executed has changed drastically. When we worked in an office, I could sit next to you and go, hey, let me see your call sheet. Let me watch a call. Let me shadow it. Let me coach you. Like, I could sit down and watch you work for 8 hours a day, and I could give you really good feedback.
And you can see I'm only working 2.5.
And I could see you're only working 2.5, and you're on YouTube too much, calling your girlfriend, texting your girlfriend. But yeah, when you can sit next to someone, it's different. Now there's remote work, but it's relationships. Relationships are still the fabric of business. Like when I go work with clients, I'm like, my business now is extremely beneficial. Extremely. Back then I would make 200 calls a day, and it was like boiler room type sales.
I don't know.
And that's changed. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, it's a game. And I would work, I'd shadow and coach and teach new salespeople. And I'm like, here's what we do, Johnny. And I was like, I'm calling. I'm like, all right, your turn. And they make one call and they go, I need a water. And I'm like, no, get your ass back on the phone. I'm like, let's go.
What does it say, 10-3-1? Is that what it is?
Yeah. 10-3-1. And I'm like, what do you want to do? I'm like, is one call enough? Is 2 calls enough? You tell me. Like, what's your goal for today?
Yeah.
And they're like, 5 meetings. And I'm like, sweet. How many calls is that going to take? And they're like, 10. I'm like, think again.
Right.
Try 100.
Right.
And they're like, and I would just work with them and be like, hey, what do you want to do? You want 3 meetings today? You want 5? I'm like, let's do it. I'll go on the road with you tomorrow. I'll help you close a deal. Like, but what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Because like, I'm not going to work. As I tell my kids now, I said, what do you want to do? I'm not going to do all the work for you. I'm not going to get you in club baseball. Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Which is, but it's relationship based.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, the corporate world is lost their footing.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, like AI is coming for you. Robots are coming for you.
Yeah.
There's 109,000 layoffs in January of 2026.
Wow.
Which is 210% what there was in December, and the month before that. And so AI, robots, technology is changing everything. And, I post about a lot because it's not a scare tactic. It's not a threat. I'm not it's coming.
Yeah.
And that doesn't change, the fabric of like, if you have a business, you had 1 person, 2 person, 10 people, like you need to help them evolve, right? So anyone that says AI is not going to, no, it's taking your job. 30% of jobs today can be done by AI. 80% of jobs can be done by AI and robots by 2030. Like, it's coming for you.
Yeah.
So if you have a business today, part of relationships now is, happy hours, getting to know them, but it's helping them develop. Like, can I get you tools to help you do your job better? Can I get you training? Can I get you, whatever to help upskill you? Upskilling is a huge word in the recruiting, talent acquisition, development space. Like, how can I help you upskill to help you get better? Because your team of 10 is going to go to 5 tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you can. So whoever you have, lock onto them, pay them appropriately, find the tools, find the resources. That hasn't changed. How you do it has changed than what it looked like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now things are moving light speed versus, 10, 20 years ago. And I think that's where small businesses, are not ready for it, and neither are the people. And so what you want out of a job, there's tons of studies that have been done about what people value in jobs. And where in one of them, where pay was, it was like 17th.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And kids these days, and kids is relative, under 40 could be a kid.
Right.
It's
Right.
like they want certain things, and that's where you have to learn from them. What do they want? And that works with clients as well. It's no different. Like, you're in the insurance game. Is that a short process or is that a long game? It's a long game, isn't it? Am I right or wrong?
Well, it depends. Business insurance is a long game.
It's a long game.
Yeah.
And why are they buying? Is your product that much better than someone else?
No, it's pretty much the exact same.
Pretty
as
much the
everybody
same.
else.
Like, they're buying from Jan Simon.
Yeah.
And so that, that wafts throughout corporate America, relationships, small business, clients. Like, it's critical. And, if you're in it for the long game, like, clients are going to keep buying from you, not because you have the best insurance, but you might make an introduction for them. You might, they're going to buy from Jan.
Yeah.
Right. And same for the people that work for you.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the question was.
I don't either. You rambled on way too long.
I know. It's part of my skill set.
So, yeah. Okay, so let's continue. Oh, I'll kick that. Hit myself in the face. Let's continue down that road. Talk to me about what you do, what your business is, because I have no clue.
You have no clue, and we've golfed together and had drinks together, all the things.
I don't listen to you.
I know you don't. Believe me.
Actually, I think I do know what you do, but I want you to tell me what you do.
So I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you what I do. During COVID, so I'd worked in corporate for a long time, and then during COVID, I started exploring other things. And I had done some real estate stuff before and done a few things like entrepreneurial-esque. I was never like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur in college. I was going to go in sales, management, corporate, all the things. And my belief is that there's a lot of people that want to leave their jobs because they hate it. And I think that's a farce. I think it's a failure waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I think entrepreneurs in most cases have to have an entrepreneurial spirit, a drive first to be an entrepreneur. And if you hate corporate, more power to you.
Yeah.
But if you just hate your job, you're like, I'm going to go. Sorry. It ain't always going to work.
And I'll add to that, I think entrepreneurs have to have a stubbornness.
Oh, God. I am, and I was, like I said, I was never an entrepreneur in high school or college, but I did lots of things that always had a job and always was trying to make money, mow lawns. I ran basketball camps. Like, I volunteered. I did lots of things but knew I was like, I'm going to be in sales and management. But then, I started, exploring real estate. I did a little real estate. And then I was like, I want to start doing some side hustle, because that became a thing. And then now the side hustle game is huge. But during COVID, businesses were getting crushed, right? Restaurants, and I lived in Illinois at the time, and Illinois is very political. They were shutting down restaurants. Chicago lost 50 of the most iconic restaurants and clubs and that we loved growing up. Like businesses were getting crushed, and I wanted to do a business that would allow me to do sales, relationship, be involved in the community, and I didn't want to be in corporate. I wanted to work with small businesses that were getting impacted by COVID. Was how it started, and I didn't want to do anything tedious or like, operational necessarily. And so I started, revving my business. And then I did Schooley Mitchell as a DBA, as a cost reduction solution franchise.
Okay.
Always knowing I'd, do some other things, but I was like, it's great. It's perfect because I focus on sales, relationships. I'll help with kind of the analysis and solutions. So we do cost reduction solutions for expense categories. So picture your telecom, your waste, your e-signature. We just launched a tax savings solution for payroll that's super powerful. And the pitch or the solution is no one's ever said, oh, that's dumb. We save businesses money with no risk.
Yeah.
So you either... And we're about 80% of the time we find savings for businesses. So we do the analysis and stuff for no cost, right? So we're consulting, but we don't charge an hourly fee. So we do the analysis for free, and then if we find savings, then we take a portion.
Gotcha.
So it's a great business model as far as we literally help businesses
you're
increase
still
profit.
helping the client save money.
That's it.
Even though you're making money on the side.
Yeah. Well, the question is, hey, if I gave you $1,000 a month, would you give me $500 back?
Right. Why not?
Would you?
For sure.
Okay, good.
Are you going to give me
no?
Will you give me $1,000 a month?
Yeah. No, I probably would.
Yeah. All right.
Be a bad decision for me, I guess. But the value prop is, Chris, why would no one do that?
Yeah.
No, it's not quite that easy. But I've never had anyone say no and never call me again.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of confidence in, talking about it. And I was a very assertive salesperson, back in my corporate days. It was like, but it was more of a one call close type of like, it was like close, get a meeting, get a contract. And this is a long game, more so because of what we offer. No one's shopping for it, right? I mean, they have to have insurance.
Yeah.
They have to have a fleet. They have to have chairs. They have to have software. They don't have to save money. So while no one ever says, well, that's dumb or why would I? It's not as easy to close because everyone's got other priorities.
Well, I think also sometimes we're told if it sounds too good to be true.
Oh, for sure. We get that. I get that a lot.
Where's the scam? Where's the pitch?
Right.
When are you going to pull the wool? That whole thing.
Yeah, and no one's heard of it before. I was in Illinois. Not one person I talked to had ever heard of it. Here, fortunately, there's been more like, hey, we're familiar with it, which is good. But it's a long game, and they'll say yes at some point. There's a saying that. Basically like, hey, if they say no, like move on to the next one. Like if they say no, it's not no forever. I'll come back to them. In fact, I have some people that jokingly, I'm like, and they're friends of mine but they've said no forever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if we would have signed 18 months ago, you would have saved by now $400,000 or 1.2 million.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And so I have no concern about what I'm selling.
Yeah.
Because it's literally profits back in their hands.
Yeah.
And, if it's nonprofits, if it's education, like I would give back in scholarships and donations and anything I can to help like nonprofits and education, especially. But yeah, it's just a great solution. And I do have fun with it. Like as far as like, people that didn't buy or haven't, I have people that's been 3 years and I'm like, hey, it's been 3 years. You could have saved, $3 million. I'm like, but from a sales process and relationship, I'm like, I have no problem dragging them through the glass a little bit and said, hey, if I saved you, $20,000 a month, like what would you do with it? Would you save a job? Would you buy a new truck? Like what would you do with 20 grand a month, or 50 grand a year for a small business. That's a lot of money.
It's a ton of money.
And nowadays everyone's looking to outsource. So it's like, if you could, as an owner or as a GM, like if you could spend more time, what would you do? It's not looking through a waste management invoice.
No.
Get rid of that.
Yeah.
Like, go spend time with customers. And so I talk to clients about, an exercise that I do with them, and I haven't monetized it yet, but maybe I will someday. It's like think of your circle of execution, and that if you're a restaurant, right, and you started a restaurant and you're a chef and you love cooking, right, you're going to cook. And that's you're going to own it. You're going to do it. And like, that's your thing. Now, that second kind of circle might be marketing, right? Like, you love marketing. You want to have a hand in it. You don't want to own it, but you want to have some involvement in it, right? So you might hire an agency, or you might have some involvement in the marketing aspects. When it comes to accounting, you're like, no, that third, so you're like, I want nothing to do with accounting, right? Or whatever it is. That's what we do. It's like, why would you want to deal with your Comcast or waste management or whatever?
Yeah.
Have Susie or Timmy or whomever it is, put them on something else. We're not out to catch them making mistakes.
Yeah.
Because we always do. Like, we always win. Like, we're always going to, 80% of the time, we're going to find savings.
Something.
Yeah.
Let's jump subjects really quick. We'll
Do it.
kind of start wrapping it up, because I think you're probably getting tired and my drink's been gone for a while.
Well,
I'm just kidding. Family.
yeah.
You got a wife.
Yep.
You married way up.
I married way up. We worked together. She's everything. I mean, we worked together in our corporate lives. So I was working in an office, and I got asked to move to a different office. And when I got there, she was working there, and she fell in love with me like immediately, which,
sight unseen.
yes. Well, no, she saw me.
She's like, look at that last name.
Look at that guy.
I think I want that last name.
I wasn't always called Bliefnick. It was, other things. But we ended up working together in the office, and they put us on a project. We're doing an open house, and literally from then on, it's kind of over. Like, we met, we did this project. Shortly after that, I had been asked to move to Indianapolis to run a different operation, or help grow this operation. And I told them no because of her. And they came back and asked again. And this was and we were dating privately because we couldn't date in the company. And I said no. And then the second time I told her, I was like, this is a really good opportunity, but I'm only going to take it if you go with me to Indianapolis. And we've been dating like 3 months. And all of her friends and everyone like, no, like, or put a ring on it. And I'm like, it's been 3 months, like, relax. But like, I knew right away, and I lived in Chicago and had zero relationships leading up to it. We were just, partying and working, and like, that's it. And, we met, and then I did take the move to Indianapolis. She came with me without a ring. And then we were there for 2 years. We got engaged, came back to Chicago. I got promoted. We moved back to Chicago and got engaged, got married there, and, the rest is history. So she makes me better. She's, she's a blogger. So she's got, Instagram and all the things, and she's been doing that for years. So I try to get her 1 or 2 followers a week. I try to, like, hey, my wife, like, follow her. In fact, today I got her 2 followers today.
Well,
so
what's her handle? Where do we find her?
This is our bliss.
This is
our bliss, and that's her Insta, her Facebook, her website is This Is Our Bliss. Yeah. So she does lifestyle, clothing. She's done some food, some home stuff, mostly like clothing try on, and then now she's doing some travel. So we've had
Does she film every time she's making you guys dinner? Like,
some, yeah. She'll be like, no, I'm filming. Or like, when we go on these trips and stuff, like, I have to do all the camera work and pictures and, so it's fun, but she's amazing. She's entrepreneur, takes care of her house, does all the things, works a ton of hours a week. She's doing a home decor business with her friend as well.
Oh, wow.
So she's, outstanding. And so because of the blog, I'll be like, they're like, hey, someone will be like, hey, you're married. And I'm like, yeah, follow my wife. And so I'll show them, her blog, and they'll go, oh. And I'm like, shut up. Shut your mouth. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, I know.
How did you get with that?
I'm like, I know. Yeah, I mean, she's stunning, but she's
OnlyFans? No.
Man, I've told her, I'm like, dude, do like Feet Finder at least or something. Right. Yeah.
That's funny. 2 boys.
3.
3 boys.
We just had a third like 5 minutes ago, I guess.
Really?
No. We have 3, 13, 11, 7, and they are, just amazing.
Is she pushing you for a girl?
We were going to go, I wanted 2, she wanted 4, so we settled on 4. We were going to do 4, and then, we didn't end up getting a 4.
Well, there's still time, right?
No, there's not. She had 3 C-sections. I'm old now, and I'm like, let's get this done. If we're going 3, let alone 4, I'm like, let's get this going. Yeah. So
it'd be rough to start over right now.
Oh my! I mean, people are having kids later.
Yeah.
These days, and we got, we have a 7-year-old now, so he was the last one. So, but they're in gifted school and doing sports and guitar and all the things. So we're super blessed. I mean, they're incredibly smart. I take them to school quite a bit, and the 7-year-old today was like, why do people look up in the sky when they're thinking? And he asked the 11-year-old, he's like, would you rather have $1 a day double for 30 days or $1 million? I'm like I can't even keep up with this. It's $1 a day for 30. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm trying to do the math in my head.
Oh, I can't. Yeah. I forgot what it is. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I mean, he's,
$1 a day double for
$1 a day. Well, $1 doubled for 30 days.
I have to do the math on that.
I know. We'll do it later.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so you've got younger kids.
Yeah.
Because they're not toddlers anymore.
No, they're not. They're talking back to me and everything.
What with the state of social media, the phones, and I don't know if your kids have technology and all that wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
What worries you the most about where we are right now?
Everything. So my kids have not been in any trouble. They are middle of the road as far as like they're smart. They do sports. I have a couple that are in leadership. They're very, very, very good. And I say middle of the road because, these days it's like, it's scary. Mm-hmm. There was another suicide in my hometown from bullying, and technology scares me. If you follow Jonathan Haidt, I think it's Haidt, he's like the number one social media guy about anti-technology. And if you follow him at all, like his shit is so good. Like it's so spot on. So our 13-year-old has a phone, but we limit it. We put, and when he got a phone, within 2 weeks we took it away because he was doing some shit he shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
So it's a tough balance. Like, and I don't judge other parents because like, hey, you do you.
Yeah.
We're gonna do us. And so when we hear him say, "Oh well, Susie and Johnny," I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, and I will never care what your friends do.
Yeah.
Or their parents do. But I see a lot of like unfiltered, just as much iPad and device as you want, and that's scary.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, we could solve it with a fist fight or wrestling match or whatever, or theater.
Yeah.
I was in theater too.
We didn't get there.
I know we didn't get there. We haven't got there, but I did say we should start like you, me,
boy
TJ,
band?
and well, I was thinking like a theater group.
LJ,
TJ,
all the
Jan and Ted.
I'm gonna have to go by CJ.
I mean, I did theater.
You'd be
TB. I don't know, like I could be anything. Like, whatever you want. Whatever you want. It's scary though.
Yeah.
And so, we try to, keep an eye on them, but parenting back in the day is different than it was now. My parents were like, I got paddled if I was out of line, and parenting these days is different and in a good way. But kids now, they think they can do whatever they want too.
Yeah.
And we just like leadership and parenting are not that far parallels. It's like, what do you want to do? And there's 80% of the time we have to kind of coach them on that now. As they get older, hopefully they'll be able to make their own decisions. But we talk a lot about trust and accountability. Like, your actions are going to determine how much you get of anything.
Yeah.
Let alone iPad device. My son wants to walk to Starbucks now. I'm like, bro, that's like 2 miles. And when I was a kid, I mapped it the other day. I used to ride my bike to my buddy's house, and I was like, I wonder how far that is. And it was like 2.8 miles. That is so far.
Long ways, yeah.
Over a bridge. And I was like,
and your parents probably were like,
oh, I'd be gone for 9 hours.
Yeah. And they never ask.
No, but they did say you had to be home before the streetlights come on.
I think everybody's parents said, my parents were like that.
My buddies were like, they could do whatever they want.
Really?
That's why I stay at their house. I'm like, we're not staying at my house.
My parents, dinner was when the streetlights went on.
Oh, yeah.
And if you weren't home, you had to call and let them know where you were and who you were eating with.
I never ate.
So, like,
I don't remember. Do you remember much
my
about
house.
growing up? Like, I feel like I blacked out 80% of it.
Oh, I absolutely did. I remember bits and pieces, crazy stuff.
Oh, I remember biking to Nate's house.
Yeah.
That was so far. I mean, but he wants to walk to Starbucks. I'm like, no, your room's not clean. No. So your trust, the trust you build with us is going to determine what you get and how you get it.
Yeah.
And the device, it's scary. I mean, the device stuff is scary. Bullying is scary. And, I think, I'm super passionate about education. Not education as it stands today. It's going to be grossly disrupted. Colleges aren't ready for it. Universities aren't ready for it. If my kids don't go to college, it's very likely. I mean, they're smart enough to get scholarships and all that. You don't need college. For 80% of the jobs these days, you do not need college. And you won't need college at some point to be a doctor or an engineer. It is coming.
Yeah.
And
it's incredible what you can learn very quickly
in 6 weeks,
online.
in 6 hours.
Yeah.
You can learn more today in a matter of minutes than you could. And so the education system is still at its core the same as when we were in school.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you think about a 4-year college. You go to high school for 4 years. You go to a 4-year college, the first 2 years, all your 201 classes are the exact same thing you did.
It's the same stuff.
It's like, why are we doing this over?
It's the same stuff. And, if college is $40K a year and now minimum wage is like $20 an hour, that's $40,000 a year. So that's an $80,000 delta in 1 year. Times 4 years, it's $320,000 without raises, without investing, without anything. So I could take an 18-year-old, hire him today, which I talked to someone today about hiring interns. And so I have a lot of big plans I like to do, including hiring an 18-year-old and being like, I will not pay you. I'll pay you commission, bonus, performance-based, but you could have equity. Yeah. You could start your own business. If you leave in a year, maybe I help fund your business.
Yeah.
But that's where things are going. And then it gets younger and younger and younger, NIL in colleges. And I mean, it's everything has changed, and it's going to change faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
And so when we were kids, they're like, you'll never make any money playing Nintendo. Sorry. They're millionaires now.
Oh, look
what I missed out.
Mr. Beast. I mean,
that's not including YouTubers.
Yeah.
That whole world. And so I will never tell my kids you can't do something, but I will, like my oldest is a guitar. He likes to play guitar. He's been doing it a year, and he's like, I want to be a musician. I'm like, cool. While you want to be a musician, think about buying a studio too, and just so you're thinking, because these days it's so easy to start a business. There's more entrepreneurs now than ever. There'll be more millionaires in the next 3 years than there were the last 20 years. So getting kids to think about, wider or broader than just like a narrow vision. Like, 'cause back in the day, it was like, you're good at math. You're going to be an engineer. You're going to go work at John Deere.
Yeah.
It was linear. And I was that, But now, like, the world's your oyster and all that kind of stuff. But kids these days, it's scary because of the threat of technology for kids, how it damages, how their brain works. And I read a ton about that, and it's really scary. So we shut off his phone at 9, and we're like, look, we don't want you to be the kid that doesn't have a phone, but there's going to be parameters.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you hate it. Like we try to talk to him like not an adult, but like 1 or 2 years older than he is. And I'm
give
like,
him reason for the thought, not just because I said.
Right. When back in the day it was do it because I said.
Right.
And now it's like, look, and I will literally chat GPT. I'll be like, hey, what are the 5 main reasons why kids at 13 years old should not be on their phone that much? And I'm like, here, you want to use your phone? Here, use it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's a 80-20 adage.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to talk 80%. Like, I want you to talk. Tell me about stuff. Like, if I catch them in a lie, I'm like, why'd you lie?
Mm-hmm.
What good did that do? Now you're in more trouble.
Yeah.
So it's scary, but the opportunities are wild.
Mm-hmm.
So I talk to them about big picture now, when they're kids, because I want them to be in leadership. Like leadership as a kid now is just incredible skill.
Mm-hmm.
But it starts with shaking hands.
Yeah.
Like, you learn how to shake a hand as an 8-year-old. Like, we practice. I'm like, we're gonna go into this house, and there's gonna be all these adults, and we're gonna shake hands when you walk in and say, hey, my name is Simon, or my name,
Mm-hmm.
and say, how are you doing? And you learn that skill.
Yeah. Look them in the eye.
Look them in the eye.
Yeah.
Like, you meet kids these days on the basketball court. Like, I coach, and you meet kids on the basketball court, the football field, and you're like, damn, that kid's got it.
Mm.
Either he's a great athlete and he has that look and he's a leader, or he says, hey, Mr. Bliefnick. I'm like, you said my name wrong, brat. No.
Come here, you
Come here,
punk.
little shit. Like,
I'll
no, but
knock you out.
I'm like, I just hope everything I do is like, I just hope my kids, do that. Like,
Yeah.
be a good human.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. That's all you hope for.
Absolutely. I have a ton of other questions that I want to ask you, but I feel like
we have
an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh,
I have a lot of more
sorry.
questions. We have to do a 2.0.
I think you should.
Yeah.
I think I don't even think I covered.
Okay.
What was it? What do you want?
Actually, honestly, the 3 points I wanted to cover, we've covered. They're snuck in there
They're
somewhere.
good. Yeah, they're in there.
But now I got a question for you.
Yeah, I thought you had.
Because we've been talking about your boys.
Yeah.
We talk about your 13-year-old mostly. When your boys are grown and have their own kids, and they're having conversations with their kids, just like you were talking about your grandpa earlier.
Yeah.
What do you hope they say about you?
Oh, I mean, lots of things, but I look at I think about them saying like, hey, remember that time? Like, and then that time is going to be different. Like, that time he coached us, or that time he did this, or that time he motivated us, or that time I went to Disneyland, or that time I just wanted to be like
Mouse voice, and I just wanted to slap him.
We just went to Disneyland.
Dad,
we
shut
just
up.
went to Disneyland. I do embarrass my kids, though, and I love it. Like, I pull up to pick up my 13-year-old. I'll turn on, like, my 7-year-old loves techno.
Oh, no.
So I got him into techno. My 13-year-old loves country and whatever else. But I'll pull up to pick up my 13-year-old, and I'll crank up, like, the most obnoxious song ever. And his friends are dying, laughing. And he's like, Dad, turn it off. And I'm like, that's the kind of funny. People like that. People like funny, dude.
Yeah.
Your friends are laughing.
Yeah.
So I hope they say, like, remember that time, and that, I mean, I tell them I love them 100 times a day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't, back in the day, it wasn't like you did that. And I just tell them I love them 100 times a day, and just that way they know, no matter what, if they're in trouble or if whatever the case is, like, Dad always said he loved me.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
So that,
Yeah. How do you define
and that he's a hell of a golfer. I got a hole-in-one with my kids.
No kidding.
That was my hole-in-one.
I've never hit a hole-in-one someday. I hope my son's with me when I do it. He
didn't even see it.
Really?
Well, it was like the second hole. I threw a ball down, hit it. It went in, and I was like, it's my first. And I've played since I was 4.
Yeah.
So I've hit 10 billion shots. And you envision your hole-in-one at Pinehurst with your buddies, and
Right.
you're doing
Everybody's
a fireball.
watching.
And so I'm with my wife and 2 of the kids. I throw a ball down on 2, hit a hole-in-one, and I'm like, I literally was like, oh. And
your
they,
wife
they come over and they
talking to
go,
somebody?
they're like, what happened? I go, well, I got a hole in one. And they're like, why aren't you more excited? I'm like, I'm in shock. And my 7-year-old, God bless him, he's like, that's amazing. And I was like, and my wife was like, a little.
Is that a good thing?
A little disappointed that my reaction wasn't. I mean, it was amazing because I was like,
Oh, yeah.
what better to have hole in one than with your
Right?
family?
But to
I
have,
don't remember what your question was.
I don't either.
It was like, when did you get a hole in one?
Did you get a hole in one? Yeah, you started talking about golf.
I know.
I lost my train of thought.
Look, golf's the best, man. It's.
How do you define success?
Ooh, that's a great question. Like, I mean, it's tough because I think people want to say, and people can say whatever they want. Like, your definition of success is your definition of success. I've got to be good with myself, like daily, weekly, monthly, so I can be there for my wife, so I can be there for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, and maybe a little not cliche, but faux pas to say that, but I got to be good with me, and I got to be good with my wife, so that we're showing up every day for our kids. I feel like I'm in my second career now, and my second like wave. Like, I did a lot of great things over the years, but I feel like I'm, maybe for another podcast, but I feel like I'm my second wave where I'm like, I'm so motivated to like do big things, and like I've got some big things, on the table, but the next, I'm so motivated to like do it and do it for my wife, and then do it so my kids can see like, hey, this is badass. Like, I love my kids to be like, hey, that's badass.
Yeah.
And they want to do something that's badass, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I mean, fun shit is cool.
absolutely.
I just want to do fun shit and cool shit. I want to do partnerships. Like,
Sure.
my corporate, I think leadership has changed where now I'm like just so motivated to like do it for other people and still be super successful. Like, I'm not a nonprofit.
Yeah.
I want to do big things and, and make a splash, but I don't need my name in the newspaper. Like, I don't need that. I just want to do big things that people like that's cool. I want, in partnerships or like, with schools and programs and like, I mean, kids are the most important asset we have.
Yeah.
My kids, your grandkid.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, he's cute.
He's adorable.
Thank God for your wife.
Probably. Okay.
What was the question? Did I answer it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I mean, who knows?
I got one more question.
I have a short window.
Short brainwave.
Short brainwave. Comes and goes. More comes.
Last question. Did you say comes?
Maybe.
Oh, that was not my last question, by the way.
Did you say that's it? Oh, that was your first question.
My first question. It's my first question, my last question. Here's my last question.
I'm ready for it whenever.
I'm trying to come up with
Yeah. What would our theater name be? Seriously, we should do something.
What would your stripper name?
Stripper. Well, my nickname is the Bizzle. So it'd probably be
Bizzle.
something like that.
Schnizzle Bizzle.
I've had so many nicknames though. I grew up in the 80s, 90s, and my name was Teddy Theodore. Teddy Bear, Theodore Roosevelt, Theodore Ruxpin, or Teddy Ruxpin, or whatever. I mean, I had.
You want to know something crazy? I don't think I've ever had a nickname.
No?
Never. People call me by my last name.
Well, how many times
Or
they
people
call you
call
that?
me
Like
Jan.
Simon there?
Yeah, Jan. They call. Oh, yeah, Jan.
Yeah.
I mean, but I get Jan all the time. I never had a nickname.
Really?
Yeah, and you know how many
I
times I've
had Beef.
sat up thinking about
Dick.
that.
I had.
thinking-
I had many nicknames. Was that your
Yeah.
question? What was my nickname?
Yeah, something like that. When you strip away all the titles, all the accolades, everything's come and gone. What do you hope to become?
Hope to become? I mean, legacy, like winning awards, I don't do all with recognition, but legacy is different. So, I want to leave a legacy for things that I touched.
Yeah.
I do. I will leave
Wait,
a legacy for things that I was involved with.
Are your hands tied when you touch
Yeah, I mean, mostly. I can tell I'm tired because I just said that. But yeah, I mean, leaving a legacy, like I didn't let being suspended define me. Like I want to leave a legacy behind from, my wife and my kids and my business, giving back. I'm heavily involved with the school, like coaching. I coach every sport I can. So I think it's just leaving a legacy. And if my kids want to get in the business, we've talked about starting a business for them now at their age. A guitar pick business for my 13-year-old, or a baseball arm sleeve business for the 11-year-old for the baseball. Like leaving a legacy for them, whatever it is, and just, you know, being good humans. But I think the word legacy lives forever.
Awesome.
You were trying to say something. I like it.
Nope. Just
I mean, I want people like, look, I think having fun is better than not having fun.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you.
Period. I mean, that's I think that's, you know, it's like you'd ask a question like, who are you, or what's your like, and I'm the first one to have fun. But if you give me a shot at your business, like I will bury it. Like I'm super competitive, and if you give me a shot at your business, I will just I think
my mind is just not in the right place.
I know you haven't been for a while. You're worse than I am.
Well, it's like you're saying things like, if you give me a shot at your business,
well,
you are not touching my business.
Oh, you're thinking that business. That's not even a business. Isn't even. I guess it is. Maybe. Yeah. You do have a bad mind, I guess. Not touching your business. Yes, my child.
I will have to say, anybody who doesn't know you, the thing that I've come to appreciate about you is I just never know when you're serious or you're not.
Yeah, it works.
And I am so gullible that I believe
you are.
it
That's
all.
why I love it. I love it.
Like,
well, that's why I emailed you, and I feel like, I mean, that's how I am. Like I'm sarcastic to a degree, and you know, I don't walk in a room like I'm going to be funny, but if the opportunity presents itself, sure. But I emailed you, and I called you like 2 days later. I was like, I was just messing around. Like I wasn't sure if because knowing you, you'd be like, are you serious about this?
Oh, I was. I totally was.
I know you were.
I read it, and I'm like,
oh
shit, we don't have a lot of time to get through this.
It was a genuine offer. I'm like, if you, but I'm a yes man. So if you ask me, like, I'll do it. Like
we're gonna do it.
Yeah, Jesus.
Now you're stuck.
I'm like, yes man, we'll do it.
You know.
Jan,
we're getting this song. Who are you? What is that? CSI or something like that?
This show?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
There's a song.
Anyways, yeah. No, I
NCIS. That's what it.
Yeah, I do that at times. It doesn't always work, but you know, so be it.
I am very much. I don't know. I throw sarcasm. I don't think of myself as funny, and I'm.
No, I think you are. Yeah,
but I'm off the cuff. Like people say stuff like, I have such a sophomoric brain.
Well, listen, if you're not making fun of me, you should be.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, if I poke fun at you, I think you take it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so when we're in a group setting, look, I don't think it vibes with everybody, but you know, you gotta have fun. Like, if you're not making fun of me, please do.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know.
Well, and I'm the same way. Like, it actually makes me feel loved when people make fun of me.
I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
Probably because I grew up people making fun of me. So
that's
like my love
friends,
language.
Like, if my wife, when she's around my friends I grew up with, she's like, you guys are awful. Do you guys hate each other? Like, you're awful.
That's so funny.
It's so awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, hey, thank you very much.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for
I appreciate
having me.
Thanks for coming on.
All time.
We'll have to do it again. And
round two. Like,
yeah. I mean,
the fire pod. Are you going to share a video?
That was
We didn't even talk about AI or like
we didn't talk
AI.
about any of that.
All right. Well,
now here's
whole
the
thing
thing.
on.
You know what's crazy is I had a guy.
You always have a guy.
I have a guy. I had a guy, and he asked me if he could get in my business.
Can you do my business?
Will you hold my business for me?
My wife was texting me like, "Are you picking Simon up from baseball?" I like, sorry.
He's been waiting a long time.
Let me call her real quick.
Okay.
She would love to be on.
Yeah.
Have her.
I will have her on because she probably has a following more than you.
More than me. I try though. You see my stuff. I try.
Okay, so my point that AI stuff that we've been playing around with.
Yeah.
And how it makes us more and more look like each other.
It is.
It's creepy.
I mean, you and I have enough.
Well, yeah.
Close.
It's the German coming out.
It's the German and Dutch.
Yeah.
I'm literally Dutch and German.
And I am too. I'm like,
love it.
I think I've got like maybe
but
like 5%
they
Irish.
Literally, they'll like morph. Like I'm you and you're.
It's crazy. So
I feel like AI likes you more than me because like I always turn into you. You
and
never.
And I think I turn into you.
Way.
That's funny.
I turn into you.
That is
and
hilarious.
It's like,
so I get an email from a carrier rep today.
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, my boss is coming to town. We'd like to, take you to lunch or whatever." I swear to God, they look like brothers. And I'm like, did you drop that into AI? Because it looks like it like blended you two together. It was the funniest thing, but it made me think of that because every time I make a video or you make a video, it's like now all of a sudden it's starting to go,
Yeah.
can't tell us apart. I'm like, okay, this is just creepy.
Oh, it's weird. We gotta figure out how to break the mold there, but
Yeah.
I like the videos.
They're fun.
Now you're doing it. Now you're like, yeah.
Yeah. Christine doesn't care for the very.
What did she say? That it's creepy.
Yeah, she's like, why are you posting those things? You don't want people to see that. I'm
Well, like I did it
it's
to TJ.
hilarious.
I did it to TJ too. Like if I'm once I get on a kick, I can't get out of it.
Yeah.
And so if it's you or TJ or someone else, I'm like, oh, make me a video of Jan selling insurance, but he's running into an issue because there's a bullfighting contest, and then I'll do 9 of them, and then I'm like, oh, it's not working. Like, get the AI right. And so once I get on a kick, until I get it right, I can't stop.
It cracks me up.
I love it.
All right. Well,
Hey,
thank you.
thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it.
This is Ted Bliefnick, and I went above and beyond.
We truly thrive.
Before you go, if you want marketing that actually moves the needle, check out lzrmarketing.com. Expert marketing solutions for your business. From websites and social to ads that convert, Liz and Riley help you stand out and grow. That's LZR Marketing, laser focused on your success.
Like, share, and subscribe to Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation. Elevate your mindset, one episode at a time.